Hello ladies and gentlemen, I'm Joseph Novichko, Senior Trading Manager with GDM. Today's session outlook, we're going to take a look at the US dollar. It strengthened, of course, broadly on Wednesday, early in the European trading, with, of course, the currency hitting nearly a 4-week high against the yen, and, of course, the anticipation of the promised White House tax. Of course, on Thursday, we're also looking for some strength on the US dollar as House officials, of course, outlined President Donald Trump and his plan on Wednesday as a proposal that they would actually have the biggest tax cut in the US history. Anyways, that's not the only fundamental that we're looking today. We have a lot of key news coming out from the European Union. Firstly, in the next 1.5 to 2 hours time, we're looking at industrial confidence, consumer confidence, service sentiment, and of course, business climate out of the EU. Later throughout the day, just before a key data out of US, you're looking at the interstate decisions out of the European Central Bank, Consumer Price Index, Harmonized Consumer Price Index, of course, that's out of Germany. Also from the European Union, we're looking at early, just before the US session starts, looking at durable goods orders out of the US, of course, trade balance, and the weekly job data. This is just before we see some news out of Japan. We're also looking at the unemployment rate, job applications as well, retail sales, and of course we're looking at National Consumer Price Index, which is of course very important data. Most of it is of course with medium to high volatility expected. Of course, let's have a look firstly at how the currency pairs and commodities are pricing in. Very important after the yesterday's session, and of course a session before that, as the euro achieved one of our first objectives. Throughout, of course, the Asian session, we saw late in the US session, early in the Asian session, we saw some hesitation of the pair whether to stay below or above the 50 exponential. So right now we're looking at the sideways direction in the near term. Not the same case, however, for the British pound, as it finally escaped out of its current tight sideways directional range against the US dollar. Now we're looking for some upside, and of course we have also broke above the key 1.29 area, and this of course would bring the pair towards some key levels such as the 1.3 and of course the 1.3170. Now those levels would be of course expected eventually next week. For now, of course, we're going to sit, hold, and tight on the upside towards 1.3 against the US dollar. Also, ahead of the key data, the Japanese yen, the US dollar and the Japanese yen have achieved two of our objectives. We're looking for a third one, of course, that lies around a 112 key area. Certainly, that could be also, achieved throughout today's European and US session as well. Right now, the 50 exponential moving average stays on the defensive, and of course, we're looking at a solid support there with this doji. And of course, a further upside could be also expected. Looking at gold prices, however, they slipped yesterday just to touch at 1259, 1260 area, which of course was not confirmed, as the 1262 key support is still there. Of course, we might be able to see a break out of this range as a break out of this key support area today as the dollar is strengthening. We're looking at key data out of the United States as well as other fundamentals throughout the day, talking specifically for the unemployment rate out of these European central banks and central banks later on, the durable goods orders, which of course is a key inflationary data out of the US. Oil is still on the downside. Of course, it managed to stay for a relatively short period of time on the sidelines before it actually tested the 50 exponential in the previous session. That was the first market reaction on the Energy Information Administration data that actually suggested that crude stocks roughly declined by about 4 million on a weekly basis. However, our more thorough reports when we saw the gasoline stocks are still building. So basically the consumption of oil products is still low. Therefore, we can see the price is still diminished by also the stronger dollar. That's all from the most important data of today, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to talk to you again tomorrow, just before the weekend. And of course, next week's final round of presidential elections in France. That's all about it today. See you next time. Bye-bye.